Hi there, welcome. Welcome to Homekeepers. Come right on in, my friend. This is the greatest time of the year. There's something special even on the program and connecting with you during the Christmas time. Kind of brings everybody together. So I'm glad you're there, and we are just enjoying this season so much, and I hope you are too. And probably the number one thing really on these Thanksgiving, Christmas, and these holidays would be bringing the family together. And I have part of my family here today. I'm so excited to have Jordan and Kristin Rippy and their daughters, Bella and Sophia. And they worked on a project. I got this call from Jordan while I was sitting at my desk and said, Nana, I put something on Facebook for you. I'll show it to you later. But it's a story of reaching back 40 years, something that my husband and I did that has inspired Jordan and Kristin today. I want you to hear the story, and that's why they're here. And Sophia, Bella, and Kristin are going to be in the kitchen and make some magic bars. They really look good. We have some that are finished. And let me just show you a picture of my family, okay? Just for a few seconds. It's such a big family, and I am so very thrilled those few times we can all get together. And that was for my 80th birthday, and they were all there, and I treasure that picture so much. And so Jordan and Kristin are with me today. And so I want to remind you before we start cooking that we're still offering that wonderful book called Our Family Christmas for your gift of $20 to the program. We'll get it right out to you. It is really such a wonderful little book. And it's something you can treasure every year, use it year after year. If you use credit card, 1-800-229-0059, or the address is on your screen, Homekeepers, Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758. And now I would like to introduce to you Kristin, Bella, and Sophia Rippy. How are you girls?
We're good.
Huh? Do you like to help your mama cook?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they're going to help make some, they're called magic bars,
yeah.
but let's have a little. That's Santa's marching band. You like that?
They do.
Okay, we got us a little music going. All right, how do you put these together?
Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we've sprayed the pan here, and then we're going to go ahead and put the butter in the pan. Bella, you want to do that?
Melt the butter, and it
Yep.
goes. And these are also called layered or something?
They're like, they are layered bars, but I've also heard them called Hello Dollies. So, so we'll.
That's easier to remember.
It is. It is.
Okay.
So yeah, they're really delicious. So we put the butter, melted butter, then we sprinkle the graham cracker crumbs, which it's a cup and a half.
I would like to say that Kristin is a homeschool mom.
I am.
And these girls are very, very smart, so I give her a lot of credit. You were homeschooled, right?
I was, yep.
I think it is so wonderful if you're kind of cut out to do it, and
yeah,
it's all you knew, so you're passing it on.
It's a blessing to us.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to, okay, now the girls like to help in this part.
All right.
You can kind of push it down.
Okay.
So you're going to make the crust for the bars. Yep.
There you go.
Don't be afraid.
I had a lot of, my daughter lives in Tampa, closer to me, and I used to cook with her boys sitting they were real little. And so I'd let them put something in, and they would say, my turn, I'd get a fight over who
It's their
got to put
favorite. It's their favorite
you're doing
thing
good.
to do, and they love watching the baking shows. So this is a real popular thing
really?
right now. Yep.
Bella, you like to read, don't you?
Big reader.
You go to the library?
I think I went Sunday.
Did
Yeah,
And I got about 12 books.
She got 12 books. I promise you she'll read every one of them.
Yep, she will. Now, our next thing to do is add the coconut. So,
Okay.
Bella, do you want to grab that?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you girls seem kind of experienced.
They're pretty good.
Do you know that's what I've learned?
Sprinkle it all around.
I've had homeschool moms and kids on in the past, and that's one thing I've noticed, that everything in that school mom's mind is education, whether it's the kitchen
Yep.
or making the bed or
Yep. we try to get them involved, and they do a good job.
It's the way it's supposed to be, really.
Yeah.
Really. You girls are good.
They are good. All right, now you want to get, that was a cup of coconut, and then we're going to do a cup of chocolate chips.
So if you want to do
there
that.
are no calories in this.
That's right, very low calorie. And we just kind of sprinkle them all around, so even once they get on there, you can kind of just spread them all around.
Yeah, they need to be buried a little bit anyway, the chocolate chips.
Oh yeah, we just move them around. Good job, Sophia.
And you got to
Where
make
in
sure
the world
to
did
get
you
a
find
bit
this recipe? Perfect for children.
It really is. It's pretty easy. Now you want to do the nuts?
Pecans?
Yep. You can do walnuts, whatever you like. We're pecan eaters in our
not to
house.
love.
So, yep.
I would like to say that Kristin is a great singer, too.
Oh, thank you.
She and Jordan worship leaders for many years in the church, and you've got the perfect voice for it. Now,
Well,
this
thank
is
you.
also low calorie.
Yeah, that's right. Sweetened condensed milk. I usually help with this part because it has to really cover the whole top and get into the bar, but just a can of that.
You know,
So-
one year, Stephanie and Wanda and I did food gifts. This would be a good one.
This is a delicious one. I feel like I always am able to find this at a Christmas party, and it's one of our favorites.
That's the kind of year that you kind of go off diet. And
That's right.
now, do these bake?
They do. You bake at 350 for 30 minutes, and they come out pretty easy. So-
It looks like they do. We have some finished ones, and it's incumbent upon me, of course, to take a bite.
Yep. And I bet you'll have some help with that too, because Bella and
Can
Sophia, yes, you may. They're ready to go.
All right.
So yeah, it's that simple. So
Oh, they're delicious. They're delicious. They're certainly not low cal, but they're good. So if you, my mouth's full. I shouldn't talk with my mouth full. My mother always taught
that's
me
all
that.
right.
If you would like a copy of this recipe, the information's coming up on your screen. It's absolutely free. Email's the best way, but look at the other ways you can get it, and we will get it out to you. Now stay with me. Got to meet Jordan, and we're going to talk about his latest project.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you may receive it by contacting us through social media as listed on the screen. When requesting a copy through the mail, be sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thank you, and please know we always appreciate hearing from our viewers.
More than any other season, Christmas awakens those wonderful memories of home and family. For that reason, Homekeepers offers a unique book that is sure to become a part of your family traditions for years to come. Our family Christmas devotional is filled with carols, scriptures, and activities, all designed to remind your family of the true reason for this magnificent season. This beautiful book is yours for a gift of at least $20 for Homekeepers. You may request your copy by calling 1-800-229-0059 or by writing to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758. Our family Christmas devotional will make wonderful gifts for both family members and friends. Supplies are limited, so place your order now.
Arthelene would like you to...
Okay, now I'm very happy to introduce to you Jordan, and maybe you know this, but I know you wouldn't remember it.
Okay.
I was hosting The Good Life live, and somebody held a sign up to me that my son was on the phone. And you know, you shouldn't do that in live TV. You think, what in the world?
Throws you.
And so I took the call, and you had just been born.
I have heard that story. I have.
Yes, I just wish we had a clip of it, but I think it's long gone. So you were kind of welcomed into the world through television.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
So that was wonderful. And I have a picture I want to show the audience,
Okay.
and then I'll explain a little bit more to it. If you want to look at it and see if you remember it.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. I remember that. Kristin.
How old were you?
That would have been five, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, that would have been
Okay.
5. Kristin came to my Norman Schwarzkopf Desert Storm birthday party as an Iraqi soldier.
Yes, this is when they were real little. And then after that, you kind of, well, your family moved. So did you kind of forget about each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. For them, I mean, our parents kept in touch a little bit, but that was a little bit more before social media and some of those things where you really keep in touch a little more regularly. So we didn't really keep in touch at all.
And then you got together on a missionary trip?
Yeah, my dad used to take our church to Russia every year growing up. So it was actually when I went off to college. He took another trip, asked if I would come along and do music. They opened it up to the church that he had previously pastored, which was her church. And she was one of the members of that team. And we ended up, actually, we did music together on that trip.
Yeah.
And
fell
kind of
in
have
love.
ever since. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Now, until recently, you were worship leaders in Access Church in
Yep.
Lakeland, and we've had that pastor on and his wife. I'd like to have them again. What kind of memories do you have of that? Because you're in a different kind of ministry now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great memories. I mean, we're still involved in the community of people there. Our great friends are there. Our girls have grown up there. We love local church ministry still. Moving forward will be a big part of our life. Just nothing but really fond memories, really since childhood, because we grew up, obviously. She was very involved in her church, and my dad, being a pastor, was very involved in our church. So we just love and cherish local church ministry.
Keep your kids in church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep them in church.
Yep.
I heard T.D. Jakes recently say this generation might be the most ignorant biblically because they kind of chopped out Sunday school and
Yeah.
VBS and things, and keep them in church and keep them in the Word.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, Jordan, I want you to tell a story.
All right.
We have talked about Camp Hope on this network quite a bit, maybe not recently, but it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful ministry in Connecticut, and the director, Dave McAllister, happens to be your uncle.
Yeah.
And I've known him since he was this big. And so you were there all summer.
Yes.
And helped a lot. And Uncle David showed you this.
Yes.
This is an album, 40 years old,
Yes.
that I was involved in 40 years ago. Some people in Tampa Bay area would remember when we did the Story of Jesus. We did it at Northeast High School, and then we did it at the Mahaffey Theater several years. And you didn't know anything about it, did you?
I did not. No, I didn't know anything about it. We were, like you said, at Camp Hope. We have, as a family, vacationed there since I was a kid. And we started taking our kids there a few years back. We've always wanted to spend a summer there and work there. And so this year, it worked out for us to do that. And yeah, we were sitting around one day, and Uncle Dave showed us this record. He's very into family history, so am I. And he showed us this record because he was involved in the production itself, and also very involved in the youth ministry at Suncoast when you guys were there. And Kristin and I had wanted to do a Christmas record really for several years, and we've always kind of talked about it too late, you know, like in November or something. We think, man, we should have done a Christmas record, because for us, Christmas music holds a really special place in our heart. I remember growing up in my dad's church as a worship leader, doing Christmas Eve services when I was 15, 16 years old, and learning all the old Christmas hymns. And so they just hold a special place in our heart. And we've always wanted to have kind of a story to go with, you know, anybody can record Christmas songs, but we've always just wanted to have something that kind of made it a little more stood out from a family perspective. And when we saw this Story of Jesus record, we both kind of really that night, which in August, we said we're gonna do something that involves this and remaking some sense of this record.
But you knew nothing of the history, really, of your grandfather and me.
Right.
As far as productions and musicals.
Right. I've heard over the years, obviously, you talk about in reference doing big productions and things like that. But no, I wasn't aware kind of the scope of it, and was really one of my primary interests in the record was the first track said that the narration was by Pastor Rippy and the Cathedral Airs, and I'd actually never heard his voice. And so I was interested to get it, play it, and just even hear, you know, my grandfather's voice for the first time. And so we did. We went home. We didn't have a record player there. We were close to going home anyway.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
a record player.
Exactly.
Where'd you find one?
You know, a lot of people collect vinyl these days, and kind of
It's a trendy thing.
It's a trendy thing. So a friend of ours has a record player. We went over to his house, and we played it. And at first we didn't think that was his voice, because it just sounds so kind of regal and radio, and so we thought it was just something else. But then when we found out it was his voice, which leads right into your voice, singing "Tell Me the Story of Jesus," we knew we had to include that on the record.
He had a very regal voice. My husband passed away in 1977, so all of those people you saw in that big picture have never met him. But I remember your dad preached Father's Day message about him once.
Yeah.
And said it was so much fun and blah, blah. And it's true. He was the fun parent. I was. I used to think, if these kids, my kids, have to choose between parents, I know they're going to take him. Because I'm, do your homework, make the bed, rah, 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 and Daddy's in the floor playing, you know.
Yeah. Well, that was one of our interests in the project, is from from my parents, from Uncle Dave, from people over the years. We've always heard just what a dynamic communicator he was. Church growth, all that, and so to hear his voice, to hear something that he and you did together was really special to us.
Yes.
He would have been a great grandfather.
I believe it.
You. Okay. I mentioned at the top of the show that I got this phone call from Jordan, and I was so deeply moved. Now you think about this, that you have a grandchild that is really moved and just inspired by something you did 40 years ago. I still sat there and I thought, I am so thankful to God that there's something here. So let me show you what Jordan put together in order to set the stage to kind of follow in our footsteps. Take a look.
The Story of Jesus is a Christmas production my grandparents did in the 70s when they pastored in St. Petersburg, Florida. Earlier this year, Kristin and I listened to it for the very first time.
Listening to that record reminded us of everything we love about Christmas music. We love that it reminds us of our family, friends, and favorite holiday traditions, but more importantly, we love that the songs of the season tell the most important story ever told.
For many years, our family has used Christmas music to tell the story of Jesus. We wanted to be a part of continuing that tradition.
So we took some songs from the original production and a few of our own Christmas favorites and recorded them in our house.
The music may sound different than it did 40 years ago, but the message is the same.
The message is simple. God became man, lived, died, and was resurrected to bring eternal life to all who will believe. This is the story of Jesus.
Tell how the angels in chorus sang as they welcomed his birth. Glory to God in the highest, peace and good tidings to earth.
Well, Kristin, I like the way you jazzed up that a little bit.
Well, thanks. It's just a little different.
What's interesting is you did put a younger twist on some of these.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing is, give me that one, Jordan. You used the same design.
We did.
For your CD.
Yep, we did.
This is actually a 33 1/3 RPM that you put a needle on. And so we're going to put the website up if you would like to order what they did right there in their home. Everything went on in the house, right?
Yeah, we recorded everything right in the house. We did all of it over a weekend in October with really the whole project, the music and the video as well, was just a result of really great friends that we have that helped us out to do the recording, to do the video work and all that. So yeah, we did it all at our house.
It has 7 songs on it. I haven't heard all of it, but what I have heard I like because the voices and the words are up front.
Yeah.
A lot of music today, you kind of searching for the voice and the words. Kristin, did you pick out any of these?
Yeah, I think we tried to get a good blend of some of the original songs that were on the record, but I always sing "Oh Holy Night" usually at Christmas, so that was probably one of the ones that we knew. But we kind of picked and chose which ones were going to be on there. But yeah, we both were really pleased with the final result.
One of the things in choosing the songs that we really wanted to do as much as we could to tie it back to the original record. So we, like you said, we used the same text. We literally scanned the record in and pulled the text off of it and used that for the text of ours. But for the songs, your production was 3 acts that covered the entire life of Jesus.
The story of Jesus.
So Act 1 was sort of the Christmas songs, Act 2 was sort of the crucifixion songs, and then Act 3 was sort of the resurrection songs. So we wanted it to be just a Christmas project, but we used Christmas songs that have verses that go all the way through to the resurrection. So we tried to include songs that kind of told the whole story of Jesus, but that were Christmas songs.
Well, as I said before, I've never been so moved as something I've almost forgotten about.
Yeah.
Not anything that I would dwell on. Jordan, I should have checked with you on this before, but you were worship leader how many years at Access?
At Access, 9.
Yeah. And I thought I heard you say once that you knew you were supposed to do that when you were sitting in a revival in Pensacola.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, I had been just learning to play piano and things like that. I had been interested in worship and some of those kind of things, and I was there with a children's pastor who really put an emphasis on music and worship in the children's services. And really during that service, he leaned over to me and said, I feel like there's something on your heart that you've been thinking about that you're supposed to just step out and do. And I knew that it was that. So within probably 2 months or so of that conversation, we had a live band in children's church. I was probably 14 or 15 years old, and we did live worship with kids every week in children's church. And it was interesting because Kristin had a similar sort of mentor in her life who had her leading worship early on in children's ministry. So by the time we got to where we were leading in church, we'd been leading for 10 years, 7, 8, 9 years before we even started leading for adults in any capacity.
Kristin, there's kind of a lot of different styles of worship, and some of it detracts from worship, some of the things.
Yeah.
I've noticed that that wasn't true the few times I've seen you, and it wasn't just the two of you, there were others in the band.
Yeah.
Did you ever sit down and say, okay, this is
No, I feel like it's
philosophy.
kind of flowed naturally from I don't know if it's like a natural style that comes, but I feel like in our worship, first of all, I feel like it's just the Lord and the anointing that God has placed on our lives, which we don't take for granted, but also just being very intentional with that and leading with purpose, and also the authority that the Lord has given us has just been almost like a natural style that He's placed within us that I feel like it's apparent that on our lives.
And we've always loved songs. We always obviously tried to choose songs that were very focused on Jesus, and very theologically rich if we could. Yeah. And also, we like, just on a practical level, we always tried to choose things that were pretty easy for people to catch on to, because in a weekend service, you have a certain amount of time. We tried not to do stuff that was kind of so far out there that it took 10 times to hear it before you could really participate in singing it.
Yeah.
Jordan, I'd like you to address, because you said something that caught my attention, the importance of worship in children's.
Yeah.
Now, we used to sing little choruses.
Yeah.
But I don't think the word worship was ever really incorporated into what we did as children. We learned the word. I mean, I'm not
sure.
ragging on my. I thank God for every Sunday school class I ever went to.
Yeah, that's something that I know we're really thankful for in our lives, and we've tried to pass on to our girls, is a real love for worship. We think it's important for kids to learn how to worship in children's church. It's an important part of what believers do as a community. So, we teach them the word, we teach them the Bible stories, we teach them to give, we should teach them to worship, But we also, when we were at our church, we believed it was really important for kids to see their parents worship. So anytime we did a really specific worship night or something like that, we encouraged parents to bring kids into that rather than in children's ministry so that they could experience that.
Now, you're in a different field right now. You he's very talented in television production. I'll say that. How old were you when we have another interesting thing in our family? His mother gave my son a kidney.
Yes.
And we were all there in Birmingham for it, and it was rough. I mean, they had 3 teenagers, and we watched both of them rolled into surgery. How old were you?
I would have been 12.
He had a TV camera.
That's right.
He followed him, you know. I think they almost had to close the door on you in the operating room.
Yes.
But he's had that natural instinct. So what are you doing right now?
Yeah, so we're working with a production company. Some great friends of ours started a production company based in Lakeland, and we do a lot of work for them, and we love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Why don't we bring those beautiful girls back up here?
Let's do it. Come here, girls.
Come here, Sophia and Bella. If they don't look like a couple of fashionistas, my word. Do you like to be on TV?
They do.
You have microphones on. You can talk.
You can say something.
You can say hi.
Yes, I like to be on TV.
Okay, Bella is in 3rd grade.
Yep.
Homeschool and
Kindergarten.
Do you notice, and I've often wondered about this, I know a few homeschool families that when you're teaching this one, this kid is
most
getting
definitely.
a jump start, isn't she?
Most definitely, yep.
Do you know how to read?
Yeah. She's learning. That's something that she's really focused on. She has some little books she loves to read. She sees her sister read at night in bed, and so that's something she's wanting to start doing now.
She doesn't realize it, but she's learning from her big sister every day.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that she's checked out as many as 15 books at a time, and she reads every one of them.
That's
yes,
right.
that's for sure.
Yep.
Well, boy, do I thank God for you. When I go to bed at night, I don't worry a whole lot, maybe except for your physical safety, because I know you're solid in the things of God. And thank you for putting a spotlight on a wonderful legacy. I get a lot of good memories of when I was a music director many years ago.
Yeah.
It was great. And I hope your family's doing well. You know, the most important thing is that they will be in heaven with you. As I was, just a few minutes ago, I was upstairs in my office and watched a little bit of President Bush's funeral and saw a beautiful family legacy there. We need it revived in this land, so let it happen. Remember, friend, there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.